Hello, Jays and Lemon. This video is going to be divided into two parts. One part is on RHEL and the brief history of it. The second part is a theory and a theory craft on the future of Linux in enterprise, commercial, and governmental bodies. Now, I'm going to have timestamps for those on screen right now. So, let's out of that way. Let's get started on a brief history of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Linux, to a point, isn't really used in commercial spaces. However, attempts to get it used by commercial spaces have been made, with the biggest known as Red Hat Enterprise Linux, or RHEL. RHEL Linux was designed from the ground up to be used commercially. So RHEL was designed to be used in workspaces. It is designed as a corporate distro, as I like to call them. So I think we should start talking about RHEL 2.1, which was the first to be an actual official enterprise release, and also the first to have a workstation variant. Now, I don't have any footage of me getting the workstation running because my virtual machine would not run it. I don't know why. You can flame me in the comments all you want. I'm gonna have footage that I probably stole from some random YouTube channel on screen right now. RHEL 2.1 was revolutionary in the fact it got two very important brand deals. One was HP and one for Dell. Dell to have driver support on pretty much everything, meaning any company who had Dell or HP could use RHEL without much difficulty. Which honestly is amazing! It's amazing. You know, they're one of the first distros to do that. Like, how can you beat that? However, it was also one of the first fully commercially focused distros with a profit incentive in mind, and not made by a non-profit group, which honestly was unheard of, because at the time, Linux was just for hobbyists and for schools. Alright, jumping to RHEL 4, because for the sake of sanity, we're not going over everything. I'm going over what interested me, because I'm autistic. RHEL 4. They added major developments in this version, like ext2, ext3, which are very important file system structures. You don't believe me? You probably have ext2 and ext3 on your virtual machine. If you don't have a virtual machine, what are you doing with your time? Genuinely, like, do people actually have a life? Do people talk to women? It also jumped to the 2.6 Linux kernel, plus added WPA security. Why should I care about WPA security, you might be sitting there wondering? Because it keeps you secure! But WPA security is very important for, believe it or not, keeping your information secure. And on a corporate-focused distro, that's pretty important. Alright, we're gonna roll from that to RHEL 5, another distro I couldn't get working. I got the server version working, but not the workstation. Why? I don't know. I genuinely tried. I tried. However, RHEL had one big run for it. 13 years of support from the development team. I want you to think about this for a good long minute. 13 years for support. There are a lot of people who don't make it to 13, especially historically speaking, because most people just died as they were born, which really is awful, and modern medicine's amazing for keeping kids from doing that. Yippee, modern medicine. However, it also forked itself from Fedora Core 6, which is really nice, and it also had built-in virtualization, and I honestly love that. I love virtualization. Talk to me long enough and you'll hear me talk about VMs and virtualization there, so that's pretty cool. Boom, jumping to RHEL 8, it went to GNOME 3.32, and it also ditched Docker for Podman, which, thank God for that! I hate Docker. You wanna hear something I hate? You wanna know something I hate? Docker. I hate Docker. I hate Docker containers. I hate Docker. The biggest change in this version, outside of jumping GNOME versions, which happens time from time, was moving from Yum to DNF. Now, why is this? Yum sucks fucking ass. It's slow, it's bloated, and it's heavy. DNF is quick, snappy, and quick. I just said quick twice, but you know what I mean. DNF is just better than Yum in terms of just speed. And on workstation computers, you really want something to be fast. You want it done now. Time is money, money is time. Alright, outside of that, I also had Wayland by default, which was really forward-thinking at the time. What year did it come out? I forgot, because I didn't write it in my script. 2019. Honestly, that's a pretty good time to be making the switch from Zork to Wayland. Actually, I'm kidding. Wayland fucking sucked at that time. Why did they do that? I don't know. Wayland is just now getting good. I guess a lot of corporate machines don't have NVIDIA graphics cards. Alright, however, jumping to RHEL 10, the latest version, now with AI, and believe it or not, more AI. Just open Red Hat's website and you'll find that. Like, seriously, why is there so much AI? No one needs AI. No one wants to use AI. It's just like basic GNOME, but with AI features that you only get if you pay for a full version. You don't even get to try them in the trial version, like the hell. Also, it's supposedly resistant to hacks from quantum computers. Now, riddle me this, Batman. Why would you have quantum computer encryption? What good does it do? Genuinely. At that point, like, if they have that much access to your files and that much money, they're just gonna buy you outright buy you. You know how expensive quantum computers are? That's right, I can't count. And future me will put their price up on top right now. It also fully dropped Xorg. Why? Because it's been on Wayland since RHEL. I guess, also, I mean, this year's Wayland has gotten a lot better than X11, so I can support that. Alright, now, after that very brief tangent that I call a history lesson, you can see that Red Hat alone has been through a lot over the last couple decades, and that's our main flagship enterprise-focused distro. We could talk about Fedora because it's called Fedora Workstation. I'm gonna be so real with you all, I don't really use Fedora at all. I don't touch it. I don't like Fedora very much. As you can tell, for this brief history, it's been through a lot. Now, let's talk about the future. The theory part of the video that you probably all just skipped to because you don't really care about RHEL. You want to know my opinions on the future of enterprise Linux, don't you? Yeah, I called you out. Alright, but what is the future of Linux in a commercial, governmental, and enterprise setting? Linux is already widely used as the basis for 90% of servers. Think of YouTube, think of AWS. Those both typically use Linux on them. Why? Because it's lightweight and it's free. You can't beat free as a price, I'm just saying. With Windows 10 coming out of fashion, it makes more sense than ever for companies, whether it be in Europe, the US, Africa, China, to just switch to Linux. Like, China has their own version of Linux called Kylin OS. I should make a video on that. However, it's becoming more and more appealing to switch to Linux instead of just Windows 11. Why? It's free! It's free! Okay, Windows 11 costs more money than I can count, which is saying something because I can count up to 36. So, naturally, why would you move to pay to move to Windows 11 or pay to get new machines in your office when you just switch to Linux? Like, why? Well, a lot of people don't really know what Linux is. So if there's any office IT managers out there, I urge you to switch to Linux. It doesn't have to be Red Hat. Just don't buy any more microshit stuff. Please don't. It's a safety risk. Windows 11 introduced a new feature called Microsoft Recall, which takes a screenshot of what you were doing so you can go back to it. I want you to stop and think for a minute how dangerous of a feature that is. A hacker, Microsoft themselves, could use that to get your personal information, say your banking info. It could be used to get corporate emails, which is also very illegal in the United States to read other people's corporate emails that way. Like, that's very bad. You know it's bad when the US has to make it illegal, like, genuinely speaking. Okay, it is dangerous to have on your computer. You don't want your personal information being yoinky-spoinky by a bunch of people you've never met in a call center in India. However, most software, okay, what about software support? Well, most software you'll find used in a retail environment, let's think a Take 5 oil change, is all ran through a web browser. How do I know this? I was just at a Take 5 oil change, and the software they were using was ran through a file browser. Mind you, on a computer that was running Windows 7. Yeah. I want you to keep that in mind. Windows 7. Now, this takes me to the next point. What about specific machine-related software? It's probably on a Windows XP machine. Let's talk about governments. Governments are very important. Governments is what run everybody, whether you like it or not. If you know me personally, you know I'm not a very big fan of the government. However, I still want my government's information to be secure from a large private equity company. That's it. I just want the information to be secure. Because they have my social security number, I don't want it to get stolen. The only person who should be giving away my social security number is me, myself, and I. And the way it's going, it's not going to be happening. It's going to be unsecure Windows Microsoft servers with screenshots being taken. I don't like that. So Microsoft costs a lot of money, especially Windows servers. This is why countries like France over across the pond have been dropping Microsoft and Microsoft Windows in order to switch to Linux. Why? It saves money. Plus, because of LibreOffice, all of your old Office files from Microsoft Office are completely compatible on Linux. Lovely! However, that's it for today. If I have to record this one more time, I'm gonna lose my shit. However, I hope you all have had a lovely day. Remember, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Help fix my horrible not subscribed to subscribed ratio. Like the video. Comment for more. And if you made it this far, comment I need a drink. With that all being said, let's roll the credits.